going on, Outriders, and welcome to today's video. Worldslayer is just around the corner, and you guys want to be ready for when it releases. Now, this guide will cover everything from new players to returning players or to people who are currently grinding the game. I'm going to give you guys every single tip that I know as an Outrider veteran on what you will need to do to be ready for when Worldslayer comes out. So, if that sounds like something you're interested in, a like would be greatly appreciated. And let's dive in and start off with the first tip I want to give you guys, and that is inventory. Now, a lot of you guys might be saying, Laser, we already know that. And trust me, guys, I'm going to cover stuff that you probably haven't heard that's going to be very important for you guys. So, we're going to get started with the resources. So, there are a total of 6 different types of resources in the games. Of course, you have this one right here, which is scraps. You have leather. You have iron, you also have the titanium, you have the pots, and you have the shards. Now, let's get started with the ones I believe you need to prioritize and why I think everybody should actually get started on the grind right now to be able to have this completely maxed out. Basically, guys, for each resource, you want to make sure you're maxing out. Now, if you don't have all that time to max out, there are some that you need to prioritize more than others. The first one I would want to recommend for you guys to prioritize are the drop pod resources, because this is going to be extremely important, guys, when it comes to Worldslayer. I can't go into too much detail on why that is, but what I can tell you is I have gotten a chance to play Worldslayer, and drop pods are really important. Now, what I could tell you is that drop pods are going to be helpful for you guys when you guys need to go and exchange stuff with Tiago. Now, remember, there are going to be brand new legendaries, and Tiago might actually have one of those legendaries you really need and want to get for when the Worldslayer comes out. So he will be a very good option for you guys to come in here, speak to him, and find not only a good legendary to pick up or a new legendary, or if you want to re-roll a legendary you probably picked up to suit your playstyle. In addition to that, guys, he does have really good loot sometimes, so you want to make sure you guys are able to buy this right when the game launches so you guys can have a leg up when the Worldslayer drops. So drop pods would be my #1 resource. Now, of course, if you're new, you're probably wondering, Laser, where do I get drop pods? Well, now in order for you guys to get drop pods, guys, you're going to want to do expeditions. Now, of course, each individual expedition will have its own benefits and also will have a higher drop of drop pods than other ones, right? So, for example, if I do Boomtown, it's going to give me a certain amount of drop pods, as opposed to me doing the Eye of the Storm. The Eye of the Storm is going to give me a ton of drop pods, even though I am sacrificing a ton to actually play it. So the most effective way to get drop pods, of course, is by doing the Eye of the Storm and being able to complete the Eye of the Storm. Now, if you guys need help completing the Eye of the Storm, this is the time where I need you guys to tell me, Laser, I need the help. I need that LaserBolt luck. Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'm pretty sure we could set up a stream maybe 3 to 4 days before the game launches so I can help you guys get these drop pods. So if you need that help, make sure you guys let me know in the comment section down below. Now, of course, there are other sets of expeditions you could run to be able to get the drop pods. You won't be getting as many as you can from the Eye of the Storm, but you will be getting a good amount of drop pods. Alright, so for expeditions, I would recommend to farm these. Of course, you're going to want to do expeditions that are fast and able to be completed. So the ones I would recommend, guys, is definitely Boomtown. I would definitely recommend Chem Plant, because these you could actually knock down in less than 10 minutes. Boomtown, you could probably get it done in less than 6. This one, you could probably get it done in less than, I would say, like 6 to 8 minutes. So those are the ones I would primarily target to get the drop pods if you can't do the Eye of the Storm. And like I said, if you guys need help, let me know in the comment section down below. Now, that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the other resource that's going to be extremely important in the game. Alright, so the next resource we want to talk about, guys, is this one right here. And we're actually going to go and talk to Sahidi about this one, because he's going to be the one that's going to request that type of item. And that's going to be shards, guys. Now, you're probably wondering, Laser, why are shards more important than titanium? Because a lot of you guys might be asking that. So one of the coolest things about this game is that it allows you to level up your gear. So if you notice right here, guys, my anomaly power, my status power, my cooldown reduction, all of those have shards enabled. Now, in order for me to be able to upgrade this, I am going to need shards to be able to upgrade. So if I wanted to raise my attributes, it's going to tell me that I need shards. Now, the only way I'm able to upgrade that is with shards. So, why is that more important than titanium? Because shards will help you upgrade that legendary you might get that drops, that all it needs is more power and more oomph, And you're going to be able to do that with shards. You won't be able to do that with anything else. So I would prioritize shards as well. And you want to make sure you have these shards in the categories you need. So there are a total of 12 different categories currently right now in the game. And you want to make sure you have these maxed out where you have enough of these shards to be able to upgrade a certain piece of armor that you're probably working on right now, or a certain piece of armor that's going to drop. So when you get that item, you are going to be able to upgrade it. That is the best way that you could prepare for Worldslayer, because you want to make sure when you get that item, you'll have a chance to not only upgrade it, but you'll also have a chance to maximize it to its full potential. The last one I want to recommend, guys, is Titanium. Now, Titanium allows you to improve the rarity of the items to Epic. So, for example, if you have a blue item, you can turn it all the way to Epic. If you have a green item, you can turn it all the Epic. Those are the three ones I would recommend you definitely prioritize. If I would have to put a fourth one, guys, it would definitely be Iron, because that's going to help you upgrade your weapons. But apart from that, guys, those are the ones I would recommend you guys should target and prioritize. Overall, in general, guys, you want to make sure that your resources are capped. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't tell you guys, the resources are based on characters. So, for example, if I were to go to a different character here, the resources are not going to be the same. So let me show you guys the resources I have right here on my Devastator. So on my Devastator, you guys see that I have a lot of stuff capped, right? They are not tied to a account. They're actually tied per character. So that is something that you really need to pay close attention to, because you might be playing on a character that you're probably not going to be maining, and you're going to notice that your resources are capped for that character. But when you go to the class that you really want to choose, you're going to notice that you're not going to have enough resources, because they are, not tied to an account. They're actually tied per character. And that leads me up to my second one, which is make sure you guys know which character you're going to main. It's extremely important that you understand which character you want to main in the game, because that is the character you're going to start focusing on, and the character you're going to want to make sure you invest the most time in than any other character. So if you're a new player to this game and this is the first time you stop in the game, I have multiple guides telling you guys which character you should pick, but I'm going to give you guys a very quick breakdown. But in addition to that, before you make your decision, I would also suggest you guys check out the new legendary gear that's available for each individual character, because that might persuade you to go that route than the route that I'm going to tell you. So let's go ahead and give you guys the breakdown of classes. So if you guys like to be a tank, then you're definitely going to want to go Devastator. That is the one I would recommend. If you like to be tank, be up in people's faces and absorb damage and deal damage, then definitely this is the one you want to go with. If you are someone that likes to be up close and personal in the fight, you are just a little bit squishy, but you do a lot of damage, you have one-hit potentials, one-shot potentials, then Trickster's the way to go. If you like to be a person that does a lot of damage, love the fire element, like to be a support class, and like to do a lot of buffs and debuffs, then definitely the Pyromancer's the way to go. Now, if you guys like technology, if you guys like gadgetry, and you like to do one-shot builds where you're going to be able to do a lot of damage, but you need someone to debuff and buff, then definitely the Technomancer is the way to go. That's a quick little breakdown. But if you would like a more in-depth guide, definitely check out my video, which I'll link down below in the description. Now that you understand how the characters work, you're going to want to make sure you pick up the characters. And it's extremely important that you make a total of 4 characters. You're probably wondering, Laser, how is that going to prepare me for Worldslayer? Because you're going to select one character. Actually, I would recommend selecting 2 characters, 2 classes that you really enjoy. So let's say in my case, it would probably be the Devastator and the Pyromancer. Those are the main classes that I feel like I'm going to be playing a lot in. The other 2 characters, guys, I'm just going to use them as mules. Now, when I say as mules, is I'm going to collect as much inventory and as much armor as I possibly can and as much weapons as I possibly can. And I'm going to come to my stash, and I'm going to stash all these weapons in there, guys. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to load all those weapons onto my 2 mules. So whenever I run out of resources because I'm leveling up my gear for Worldslayer, I can easily come to my stash and get the the weapons that I have in here. But in addition to the stash, because the stash is capped to only 100 items, I'm going to be able to use my 2 mules or my 2 other characters that I have weapons in there that I can easily tap into and get the resources I need whenever my resources run low when I'm playing the game. So that's why I would suggest just make 4 characters and just use them as mules where you have enough items to be able to have it. Now, if you just want to have one particular main, you can use 3 mules plus your stash system to be able to have and store extra resources than the ones you guys already kept. So that's a very effective way. Now, with that being said, guys, let's talk about what you need to do as far as preparing if you're a new player and your character is currently not completely maxed out, or if you're a current player and your character at the current moment does not have the proper equipment. So the main priority, guys, you want to do as your character, you're going to want to make sure your character hits level 30. Of course, if you're a new player, if you don't have your character level 30, you want to make sure your character hits that level 30 cap. In addition to that, guys, you want to make sure that your weapons, so every single weapon that you have within the category is level 50. That's going to be extremely important because you want to make sure you're able to progress within the story of Worldslayers without taking a significant amount of not only damage, but being able to dish a good amount of damage when you're playing the campaign so you can get to the end game. Because remember, the main point of the game currently right now is for us to get to the end game as quickly as we possibly can so we could go ahead and tap into the near gear, which is Apocalypse gear, which I'll talk a little bit later in the video. So you want to make sure all of this gets to level 50. And you also, guys, want to make sure that your stats are very good. So if you guys notice my armor is 11.3. That's the maximum you could probably get your armor to. So 11.3. This one's 11.2, 11.1. So if you're missing these two pieces, I would probably try to get them to 11.3. It's not highly prioritized, but you just want to make sure you're able to do a good amount of damage when Worldslayer comes out so you can easily jump into the campaign and progress throughout the campaign without having to level up too much items. Now, this leads me to number 2, and one of the most important things, guys, that you're definitely going to want to do is this, guys. You want to make sure, guys, that all your mods are available for you guys when you start the game. This is going to be extremely important. If you guys have mods that you haven't been able to unlock or are still grayed out for you, for example, you come here and we go to this one, you're going to see that everything is completely filled for my Devastator. And if I go to tier 2, everything's completely unlocked. If you have mods in here, and you'll be surprised, if you're a returning player, you'll probably have some mods that are not available, and you're probably going to want to check out your additional characters like your Trickster, your Pyromancer, and your Technomancer if the mods are available, because remember, the mods are not based on an account. It's based on individual characters, so you want to make sure you check if those are out, because there's some mods that are tied specifically to that class that will not be unlocked for you guys, so you want to make sure you check that out. So you want to make sure that your tier 1, tier 2, and your tier 3 mods are completely available for you guys to have. So you're going to want to make sure that these are actually pretty good, guys, your tier 3 mods, because these are the ones that are going to be doing the most amount of damage and the more valuable ones, and you want to make sure that your whole list is completely unlocked. Now, your mods are going to look like this if you guys don't have them unlocked. This one looks like this because I have them within my inventory, within my character, so you notice right here, it's already in here. But that's what it'll look like when you guys don't have them unlocked. So you want to make sure you unlock every single mod that's available to you guys. So when you guys get the game, you're going to be able to apply those mods into your character. Now remember, weapon mods and armor mods are completely different. So you want to make sure that all of those are unlocked for you guys. So when the game comes out, you have mods to apply to your armor that you won't have access to if you guys don't have them unlocked. And you don't want to go through the grind of unlocking these mods and unlocking the brand new mods. Now, speaking of brand new mods, let's talk a little bit about the new gear that's coming out and why your main priority when playing the game right now is just making sure you have the right weapons to use for builds and the right synergy for those builds, not so much on the gear, because remember, this gear is going to become obsolete because we're getting a brand new set of gear, which is called Apocalypse gear, and the advantage of that gear is going to give us the advantage of applying 3 different mods to that individual armor set, which is going to make it extremely powerful, right? So this particular gear is going to become obsolete if you guys are playing Worldslayer. Now, if you're not playing Worldslayer, then you can easily just keep this gear that I'm showing you right now. But if you are going into the Worldslayer, you're going to want to make sure to remember that this is going to become obsolete. So don't worry so much about this gear. This gear, if optimized right, should carry you all the way through the story of the Worldslayer. And then you can start focusing on Apocalypse gear, which is then going to be really important. Now, apart from what I just told you right now, guys, you're definitely going to want to make sure your character has a proper build. And I see you, Johnny. You're typing in there, Laser, what is the proper build for the Devastator? Laser, what's the proper build for the Trickster? I don't want to extend this video too long, so I will have a separate video going over what are the best builds for each individual character, so you guys can just knock it off your checklist and say, okay, I have that, and I need that, so you guys can get better for Worldslayer. Now, talking about builds, guys, I have a build that's going to have you completely ready for Worldslayer with the new legendary armor. So definitely go ahead, click on this video that's showing up right now on the screen, so you guys definitely don't miss that build. Now, if you guys would also like us to stream early so we can help you guys get the pods, get the resources needed, and help you complete stuff that you probably haven't completed already, make sure you guys let me know in the comment section down below, and do consider becoming a member of the Bolt Nation. We'd love to have you here. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.